Hello and a warm welcome to Tbcnews. Our top stories. Tanzania and Africa mourn as Ndugulile laid to rest. EAC judges meet as they eye people-centered justice services.
Access to justice is a fundamental pillar that advances the objectives of Tanzania development vision.
Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa led Tanzanians in the funeral of the former Member of Parliament and the Director-elect of the World Health Organization for Africa, Dr. Faustin Ndugulile, who was laid to rest today at Mwongozo, Kigamboni in Dar es Salaam. Is a report by Ezekiel Fute, read to you by Rioba Stephen.
Hundreds of mourners, including government leaders, are here at Kigamboni as a former Member of Parliament and the Director-elect of the UN's World Health Organization, WHO, in Africa, Dr. Faustin Ndugulile is laid to rest. Before the funeral, the citizens had the opportunity to pay their last respect at Tungi grounds. Then thereafter followed 10 kilometers journey to Mwongozo, where his body was laid to rest. Relatives and friends say his legacy will continue to live on.
A lawyer was assigned to me and they defended me, allowing me to get my rights. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to afford a lawyer.
He was someone who loved the people. He was people's person and very humble. His passing has deeply affected me. I can hardly find the word to express. Sportsmen also, they had a word to say about him. Whenever he called, he would first ask, how is everything here? What's the situation? After explaining, he would start advising you. I'm very grateful for the life he lived. The representative of the WHO campaigns team explained how they succeeded in ensuring that the late Dr. Ndugulile gets elected for the WHO post.
Dr. Faustin, much has been said about him. In terms of expertise, he was exceptional. In politics, he was equally outstanding. Every area he touched, he excelled in. But the most remarkable thing we remember as his campaign team was Dr. Faustin's humility.
On the other hand, some government leaders experienced what the late Ndugulile did during his political careers, especially for the people of the Kigamboni constituents.
Akiletwa hapa na Daktari Mwele Malechela.
He was brought here by Dr. Mwele Marisela, and all political activities were conducted at Mwele's residence. We remember him fondly because he played a significant role in elevating us from the council level to higher level in various ministries, especially the Minister of Health and the education sector.
Dr. Faustin loved his Kigamboni dearly. He loved his people. The ruling party CCM has mentioned the road project that Honorable Ndugulile oversaw, which continues to this day.
The body of the hero, Dr. Faustin Ndugulile, who was a Member of Parliament for Kigamboni constituents and the Director-elect of the UN's World Health Organization, WHO, in Africa, was laid to rest today.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Energy, Dr. Doto Biteko, says more than 100,000 households in the country live with people with disabilities, insisting that the government continues to create conducive environment for the people with disabilities, including the construction of disability-friendly infrastructure. Is a report by John Matias, read to you by Rioba Stephen.
International Day of Persons with Disability. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Energy, Dr. Doto Biteko, is here as a guest of honor in celebrating this day in the city of Jerusalem. During the celebration, the National Work Plan for People with Albinism and the National Strategy for Assistive Technology are launched. Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Biteko says more than 100,000 households in the country live with people with disability. According to the statistics, more than 110,000 households in the country live with people with disabilities. People with disability in those households vary from one household to another. Dr. Biteko says the Tanzanian government will continue to support and create better environment for people with disability. The government has continued to improve health services for people with disabilities, including people with albinism, by building health centers and friendly infrastructures for people with disabilities. Till March 2024, Tanzania had 12,266 health centers to establish a screening center for skin cancer, especially for people with albinism, at the Ocean Road Hospital and Muhimbili in Dar es Salaam, Ugando in Mwanza, KCMC in Kilimanjaro, Morogoro Regional Hospital in Tanga. The International Day of Persons with Disability is celebrated every year on December 3rd.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urges the East African magistrates and judges to analyze the judicial challenges facing their countries and come up with relevant strategies to deal with them. He made the call while opening the 21st meeting of the Association of Magistrates and Judges for East African countries in Arusha. Here are more details.
Minister Kassim Majaliwa, who was representing President Samia Suluhu Hassan, says the 21st meeting of the Association of Magistrates and Judges for East African countries in Arusha is critical in creating better judicial systems, insisting on establishment of people-centered judicial system.
The government of Tanzania holds the judiciary in high regard and the full support in its effort to modernize the justice delivery system. Our government believes that access to justice is a fundamental pillar that advances the objectives of Tanzania Development Vision 2025 and Sustainable Development Goal number 16, which is dedicated to promoting peace and inclusive society for sustainable development, ensuring access to justice for all, and build effective accountability institutions at all levels.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister mentioned on the issue of the African countries to collaborate to tackle the international crime across the continent.
Such crime necessitated coordinated regional efforts to combat them. I sincerely hope your discussion and the proposed solution will support our national and regional efforts to create integrated justice system based on the rule of law and human rights.
The Chief Justice of Tanzania, Professor Ibrahim Juma, says the efforts done by the East African community leaders to strengthen economic cooperation must go hand in hand with ensuring stable and fair regional courts.
Our national judiciaries require sufficient funds. Whenever Chief Justices meet, the question of funds will always arise. And I'm sure in this meeting, sufficient funding to the judiciary is also important. And in the question of funding, I would also like to urge the national judiciaries to make sure that we fund adequately and sufficiently our national associations.
On the other hand, the minister responsible for the Constitution and Legal Affairs, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, says the magistrates and judges are the key to maintenance of peace and harmony.
The judges and magistrates are the center of peace and harmony. Everyone who thinks has lost his right will first think of running to a court to file suit and claim his rights. So people trust you, and they are always sure that justice will be made, justice will be done. This trust should not be compromised.
Now let's head over to Morogoro region, whereby the Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Jerry Silaa, has ordered the Universal Communication Service Access Fund, UCSF, to speed up the completion of the construction of 758 communication towers, aiming at improving communication systems in various areas of the country. Speaking to the residents of Msolokelo village in the Mvomero district, Silaa insisted the project, which is at 40%, has to be completed as planned and within specified time frame. Is a report by Remy Asinti, read to you by Peter Mganga.
120 kilometers from the Morogoro town, while the government has already invested in the much-needed electricity infrastructure and road targeting to stimulate the individual Tanzanians' economic development, but the lack of sufficient communication services is said to undermine the efforts.
Lack of communication is equivalent to lacking a backbone. If you look at the communication between this village and the other, it is very poor. In this village, there is no communication, and it is a significant challenge. Everyone desires to stay connected, receive services, and provide them. Without communication, nothing happens, and there is no progress.
Mvomero Member of Parliament Jonas Vezelandi says the residents of the area are eagerly waiting for the completion of the project, while the UCSAF Executive Director Peter Mwasalianda says the work of completing the communication towers is going on in various places across the country, including inside the Msolokelo village.
There's no communication, but in the records, the project is marked as a completed. The construction is said to be finished, yet you come to judge us without any valid reason. We must speak the truth. As a specialist from the Universe Communication Fund, we have come to this area with our colleagues from Vodacom, and we are already identified the site where the tower will be built.
The Minister in charge of Information, Communication and Information Technology is here at the village, ensuring the residents that the project will be completed on time, giving directives to the Universal Communication Services Access Fund.
To all regional managers of the Universe Communication Fund, I direct you to begin technical visits to all regions to verify the implementation of the tower construction projects. This visit should compare the report with those from honorable members of parliament and local government leaders regarding the project's implementation versus the actual situation in the field. This including the status of 306 towers that have been activated and the real state of the communication infrastructures as seen here.
Now from Morogoro, let's come back to Dar es Salaam, where the ambassador of South Korea to Tanzania, Yoon Jo-an, says the South Korean government is ready to deepen ties with the Tanzanian government through the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC. She made the remarks in Dar es Salaam when she visited TBC offices at Mikocheni in Dar es Salaam to hand over state-of-the-art equipment for outside broadcasting, aiming to enhance TBC's content and reach. Rehema Sababili has more.
The ambassador of South Korea in Tanzania, Yoon Jo-an, visited Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation TBC's offices located at Mikocheni in the city of Dar es Salaam and was then received by her host, Dr. Ayubu Rioba. Speaking immediately after the handover of the outside broadcasting equipment from South Korea Radio Promotion Association RAPA, Ambassador Yoon Jo-an said she hopes the equipment will part in improving further the TBC's content and reach, insisting that her country is ready to improve further ties with the Tanzania public broadcaster, TBC.
We will be doing this project in Dodoma also. So this is an ongoing project, and we'll be with you along this journey toward developing the TBC's capacity and the overall Tanzania's broadcasting capacity. And not only that, the arts and entertainment industry still has great potential to be tapped. And I think Korea will keep supporting Tanzanian government and the TBC's efforts to promote this broadcasting and to reach wider and bigger audience. And I think we will always be watching and supporting and applauding your efforts.
On the other hand, the Director General of TBC, Dr. Ayubu Rioba, says the South Korean government, through the country's broadcasting system, has been at the forefront in supporting the content improvement and modern broadcasting technology, asserting that TBC will continue to strive to serve Tanzanians even better through its content.
For the first time, we have these modern studios, a huge production studio. We did not have that. And secondly, we have equipment, modern equipment. We have a studio where we can be doing recording or at the same time streaming live. And people can give feedback through the facilities that we have in the studio. And we've seen already what we're doing with the studio, what we've done with programs such as Chocho Kwa Chocho, programs such as Singeli competition that we had. And we also had school competitions. And we will be doing more outdoor programs like those that involve or engage young people. And that's actually what we are planning to do. with the studios. So I take this opportunity to thank the government of Korea and to thank Her Excellency the Ambassador Yoon Jin-an, who is here today to commission this project.
The equipment for outdoor broadcasting includes modern cameras, images and sound mixers, and other modern interactive system worth of more than $200,000. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sebabili, TBC News.
The Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Pindi Chana, has directed the regional and district commissioners of the districts and regions bordering national reserves to review animal corridors and provide education to the locals on human-wildlife conflict, which at times are caused by establishments of human settlements near the animal settlements. Here are more details.
He gave the instruction while receiving 5 vehicles out of 8 vehicles provided for conservation activities, as well as 2 machines out of 5 machines for improving roads and other infrastructure inside the reserve area worth 6.4 billion shillings from the German Development Bank in collaboration with Tanzania Wildlife Management Authority, TAWA, TANAPA and Frankfurt Zoological Society.
When I see the statistics of death and injury out of these conflicts between human and animal, I strongly believe, and it is the opinion of our parliament as well, to put more emphasis to make sure when we speak of conservation, our communities are safe, are well protected. That is the role of the government, and we will be happy if we will manage to share.
On the other hand, the resident director of the German Development Bank in Tanzania, Dr. Jennifer Wall, along with the resident director of the Frankfurt Zoological Society in Tanzania, vowed to continue to cooperate in the improvement of the tourism sector in this country.
A program called the Emergency and Recovery Support to Biodiversity in Tanzania. And why recovery? If it's ever blooming, this is a support that was provided during the corona pandemic to ensure to compensate revenue losses of Tanapa and Tahara due to the corona crisis in these 3 protected areas and to ensure continuity and resumption of the key conservation activities.
We are sure all the handed over equipment will support park operations and maintenance of tourists and petrol roads to enhance park accessibility, and that the capture truck will support the ecological monitoring and translocation of animals from one point to another for ecological purposes.
In case you missed any of our stories, you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere around the globe. Now let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. Now let's have a look at international news as compiled and read to you by Lua Mohammed.
Libyan ruling party candidate Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah is poised to become the country's first woman president. Vote counting still underway after last 2 weeks' election were controversially extended by several days. Early Tuesday, the Electoral Commission's tally shows Vice President Nandi-Ndaitwah had secured over 54% of the votes, with 2/3 of the ballots counted. The November election was extended due to the technical problems, including the shortage of ballot papers. Speakers at the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertifications, COP16, which is taking place in Saudi Arabia, warned that action needed to be taken to protect life on Earth. The COP16 meeting in Riyadh brings together world leaders, experts, and community representatives from around the world to work toward land restoration and fight desertification. The UN Weather Agency reported in October that 2023 was the driest year in more than 3 decades for the world's rivers. The world faced the hottest year on record in 2023, and the summer of this year was also the hottest summer ever, raising warning signs for a possible new annual record in 2024. The warming world is leading to erratic rainfall patterns, extreme heat, and periods of drought. And Egypt has hosted an international conference to rally humanitarian support for Gaza, which has been racked by more than a year of war between Hamas and Israel. According to the Egyptian Foreign Ministry, the conference in Cairo was attended by many senior regional and Western officials. UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed and other senior UN officials also attended. The conference came as the humanitarian situation has rapidly deteriorated in Gaza, especially in the Strip's northern areas, which have been almost cut off for nearly 2 months. According to the ministry, the conference addressed the political, security, and humanitarian aspects of the situation in Gaza, with a particular emphasis on supporting UNRWA's operations.
That was international news. And in sports news, Simba Sports Club Communication and Information Manager Ahmed Ali says they are going to Algeria to collect all 3 points from their opponent Constantine in the second match of CAF Confederation Cup to be played on Sunday. Ali believes that they have squads which can challenge any team in the continent, and they are ready to take on Constantine and make a statement in the competition.
Should remain the same of aiming to reach the quarterfinals, but the immediate plan is secure a good result against Constantine. We understand it will be a tough match, but our goal is to get 3 points or at least a draw.
Simba Sports Club has 3 points in Group A after crashing out Bravos in the first leg of CAF Confederation Cup, while their opponents Constantine have also 3 points, which make the match more interesting and challenging to both teams. All the best to Simba Sports Club. In other sports news, Tanzanian designers have been encouraged to look for opportunities found in the international market so as to boost their economy. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, a designer from Italy says Tanzania has enormous opportunity to sell their clothes across the globe.
Let's teach each other how to brand yourself, how to show what you are doing, because if you don't show anything which you are doing, no one will know what you are doing.
Explore what they can do to become commercially viable, to follow the trends, to look for all the opportunities that they are available for them to become successful. I think
the Swahili Fashion Week will take place from December 6th to 8th in Dar es Salaam, involving local and international designers. That was sports news. And now, before we wind up the news bulletin, let's have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, this is 24 Hours Weather Forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Starting from tonight, 9 p.m., the state of the lake is expected to be slight to moderate, and the state of the sea is expected to be slight, and we expect chance of rainfall over most parts of the country. And this comes with an advisory of severe weather, of which Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of period of heavy rain over some few areas of Mbeya, Iringa, Njombe, Rukwa, Songwe, Singida, Dodoma, and Morogoro region. So necessary measures and precautions should be taken. And now let us see of the weather details, and this is what we expect for tonight. For Lake Victoria Basin, western parts of the country, southwestern highlands, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas. For northeastern highland, central parts of the country, northern coast, and southern region, we expect partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas, and the remaining parts of the country is expected to be dry. And now let us see of what we expect for tomorrow. For Lake Victoria Basin, for the entire coast and southern region, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For northeastern Highland, we expect partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For western parts of the country, central parts of the country, and southwestern Highland, we expect cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun intervals. And now let us take a look of the next 4 days weather forecast. For Dar es Salaam, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Dodoma, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Mbeya, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Mwanza, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Kilimanjaro, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Morogoro, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Arusha, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And that's all for today. Make sure to catch up again tomorrow. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Mariam Fares. Bye-bye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.
Mtazamaji wa TBC1, ni kukaribishe katika kipindi cha Kata kwa Kata siku ya leo. Kipindi hiki ni maalum kabisa ambapo siku ya leo tunaelekea katika maadhimisho ama tunaelekea